Hi everyone, my name is Alonso and I am part of the UNIFY Gather team. Today, I'll be going over navigating public transit in Metro Vancouver module. Before we get started, I just want to mention that everything I'll be covering today is also available on our app, UNIFY Social, which is now available on the App Store. And let's get started. So this is agenda. So I'm gonna be going over introduction to the Metro Vancouver transit system, different type of transit services, paying your fares and zones, planning a trip, riding transit, some etiquette and safety tips, and last but not least, common challenges and tips. So, what is a TransLink? TransLink is the regional transportation authority for Metro Vancouver. It serves over 2.6 million residents across multiple cities. It focuses on affordability, sustainability, and accessibility. It is essential for students, workers, and of course, visitors. So, why do people use transit? A great example can be if you're a student commuting from Surrey to downtown. If you use public transit, it can save you money, avoid traffic, and reduce environmental impact by using transit, of course. So, if you're just driving from Surrey to downtown Vancouver, it can take you around 30 minutes without traffic jam and maybe like an hour with the traffic jam. But if you take the SkyTrain, you don't even have to worry about traffic, and it usually takes you around 25 minutes to go from Surrey to downtown Vancouver. So there are four different types of transit options in Metro Vancouver. The first one is bus. It covers most areas across Metro Vancouver. It is best for short to medium distances. Next up, we got SkyTrain. It is a fast and frequent rapid transit connecting major cities. It is ideal for community commuting and longer trips. And we have SeaBus is passenger ferry between downtown Vancouver and North Vancouver. It has beautiful views and is really reliable for water crossing. Last but not least, we have West Coast Express. It covers most of the areas across Metro Vancouver. It is best for short to medium distances. So, I have a question for you guys. So, which of the following is a key benefit of using public transit? A, free parking. B, reduced traffic congestion. C, unlimited seating. D, no waiting time. So I'll give you guys 10 seconds to think about the answers. And yes, the answer is B, reduced traffic congestions. So now I'm gonna elaborate on each of the transit options available. So for bus, like I mentioned before, it is the most flexible transit option. They can reach areas that SkyTrains and SeaBus cannot. Most buses run frequently throughout the day, usually 10 to 20 minutes on main routes and left often on smaller routes. And we have rapid bus. These are faster, limited stop buses designed to cover longer distance efficiently. Rapid bus usually runs every 10 to 15 minutes during peak hours and have priority lanes in some areas. Oh, sorry. So right now we have from all the way from R1 to R6, and R1 is usually from Hastings slash Barraw Station to SFU Burnaby, and R2 is Phipps Exchange to Metrotown or Metrotown to Phipps Exchange. R3 is Hennis Place to Coquitlam Center. R4 is Joyce Collingwood Station to UBC. R5 Downtown Vancouver to SFU Burnaby. R6 is Scott Road Station to Newton Exchange. So for bus, the fares has a flat rate fare system, meaning that the same fare applies no matter how far you travel. Next up, we have SkyTrain. SkyTrain is an automated driverless rapid transit system. It is known for being fast, frequent, and reliable. SkyTrain usually runs every 2 to 7 minutes during peak hours and every 7 to 15 minutes off peak. So there are three SkyTrain lines in Metro Vancouver right now. The first one is Expo Line. It runs from Waterfront Station in downtown Vancouver all the way to King George Station in Surrey. And it also has a branch to Production Way University Station, which is close to SFU. Yes. And next up, we got Millennium Line. It runs from VCC Clark Station in Vancouver to Lafargue Lake Douglas Station in Coquitlam with stops in Burnaby. Last but not least, we have Canada Line. It connects downtown Vancouver to Richmond and Vancouver International Airport, also known as YVR. So just a quick note on fare zones. Metro Vancouver is divided into zones based on city boundaries. So SkyTrains and SeaBus are charged based on the numbers of zones you travel. And like I mentioned before, the bus does not, you don't need to worry about zones. So zone one is usually from Vancouver, including downtown, Broadway, and Broadway corridors. And zone two is Burnaby, Richmond, and North Vancouver. And zone three is Surrey, Coquitlam, New Westminster, and Port Moody. So next up, we have SeaBus. SeaBus is a passenger ferry connecting downtown Vancouver, which is like waterfront station, to Lonsdale Quay in North Vancouver. It runs about every 15 to 20 minutes during peak times and every 30 minutes off peak. So why do people usually use SeaBus? It is less commonly used than buses and SkyTrain for most riders. But if you mainly live in North Vancouver or are traveling to a specific North Vancouver destination, SeaBus is the right transit option for you. It's very efficient for crossing the Burrard Inlet compared to driving. Last but not least, we have the West Coast Express. Many people aren't really familiar with this because it runs from east-west all the way from Mission to Waterfront. And if you start from Mission and go to Waterfront Station, usually it takes about 1 hour and 20 minutes. It is faster than driving in heavy traffic during rush hours because trains have their own track and you can avoid road congestions. So the train usually travels from downtown Vancouver. Sorry, the morning trains travels towards to downtown Vancouver, which is ideal for commuters, and the evening trains travel back from downtown Vancouver to all the way to Mission. And typically there are five trains inbound in the morning and five outbound in the evening. So this is just like the many stops covered in the West Coast Express line. But keep in mind, there are no service during midday, late evening, or weekends. It is not for casual transit. It's mostly designed for the 9 to 5 commuters. So we got questions again. Which feature best describes buses in Metro Vancouver? A. Zone-based fares only. B. Limited stops and long distance only. C. Flat rate fares and wide area coverage. D. Weekday only service. And I'll give you guys another 10 seconds to think about the answer. And yes, the correct answer is C. Flat rate fares and wide area coverage. And the next question is, why do many commuters choose SkyTrain station? A, it is fast, frequent, and reliable. B, it is slower but cheaper. C, it runs only during peak hours. D, it only serves Vancouver. So the correct answer is A, it is fast, frequent, and reliable. And next question, when is the SeaBus most useful? A, for short neighborhood trips. B, for traveling within Surrey. C, for trips between downtown Vancouver and North Vancouver. D, for late night weekend travel. So the correct answer is C again, for trips between downtown Vancouver and North Vancouver. Last question. Who is the West Coast Express best designed for? A, tourists traveling, visiting Vancouver. B, students traveling short distances. C, late night travelers. D, weekday commuters from the suburb to downtown. And the correct answer is D, weekday commuters from the suburbs to downtown. And this is just a price. This is a current price for all the different fare zones. If you're only traveling within one zone, it's $3.35. Two zones is $4.85, or three zones is $6.60. And just want to remind you guys one last time, bus is flat rate. With that being said, you don't have to worry about zones. But SkyTrain and SeaBus, you have to worry about the zones. So how do you pay the fare? So there are four different ways that you can pay the fare. The first one is Compass card, which is the most recommended one. And next up, we got debit card or credit cards and mobile wallets such as Apple Pay, Google Pay, and of course, we take cash as well. So, but the important notes are for SkyTrain and SeaBus, you must tap in and tap out at the Compass fare gate to start your trip. Tapping at the station determines your fare and acts as your ticket. Bus paper tickets or cash receipts cannot be used to enter SkyTrain stations. If transferring from a bus to SkyTrain, you must tap in your Compass card or payment method again at the station. So we have another question. When do zone-based fare apply? A, all day, every day. B, only on buses. C, weekday daytime on SkyTrain. And D, weekends. And the correct answer is C, weekday daytime on SkyTrain. So there are a few different trip planning tools. The one that's most official is the TransLink Trip Planner. It is the official tool from TransLink. It lets you plan routes using buses, SkyTrain, SeaBus, and West Coast Express. It shows you the departure time, the travel duration, and connections. It is accessible via websites or the TransLink app. And next up, I think this is what most people uses nowadays. They use Google Map or Apple Maps. They can provide you the public transit direction along with walking, driving, or cycling routes. It is useful for comparing multiple travel options quickly, and it includes live traffic info, but sometimes transit updates aren't as precise as the official transit apps. And we also have the Transit app. It's a popular third-party app available for iOS and Android users. It shows real-time bus and train arrival times, alerts for delays, and nearby stops. You can track routes like the Rapid Bus or West Coast Express live. It supports push notifications, so you will know when your next bus or next SkyTrain is approaching. And another option is to text 33333. It's only for bus stops. So as you can see in the picture here, this part is the stop number, and this part is the bus you're taking. So in this case, the bus stop number is this one, so which is 52779, and this is the bus I'm taking, which is 144. So you send a text to 33333, and it will give you an estimated time of when the next bus is coming. So another question for you guys. Why is trip planning important? A, to avoid traffic tickets. B, to reduce uncertainty and delays. C, to skip paying fares. D, to get priority seating. So the correct answer is B, reduce uncertainty and delays. So next up, I'm gonna be going over bus and SkyTrain etiquettes. This is something I didn't know when I first arrived in Canada. So some of the most important ones are you let the passengers exit first before walking in. And when you're at the SkyTrain stations, you need to stand behind the yellow lines. And you also have to give up priority seatings when you see seniors or disabilities coming in. And of course, last but not least, you keep noise level low. And some safety trips can be stay aware of surroundings, secure your personal belongings, use well lit stations, which means at night, like there's some station with good lightings. Those are what we call well lit stations. And also, just keep in mind that public transit police are available if needed. But if you do encounter something really urgent, the most safety option is still, of course, call 911. But if it's something non-emergency, you can try text A77777. On the message, include what is happening, your location, and a description of the person or situation. Or you can try call this number as 604-515-8300 for suspicious behavior or incident that aren't agent. And sometimes you're gonna see people wearing a public transit vest. Those are the transit police. They're often at major stations like Waterfront or Metrotown. So if you see something, and you can just report it to them. And one more question for you guys. Which action improves transit efficiency? A. Blocking doors. B. Standing left on escalators. C. Letting riders exit first. D. Playing music loudly. So the correct answer is C. Letting riders exit first. So, some of the etiquettes for a bus and SkyTrains can be during peak hours. It can be really crowded. Trains, buses, and stations gets very busy during morning and evening rush hours. It can be hard to find a seat or board quickly, especially on SkyTrain or Rapid Bus. And sometimes there are weather disruptions. There can be heavy rain, snow, or wind, which can slow buses, trains, and ferries. Delays or temporary service changes are more common during extreme weather, affecting travel plans. And there are also some service delays that, for example, like train malfunction, mechanical issues, um, track maintenance, or accidents that can interrupt the schedules. And you can make, which can make bus or trains arrive late, or they can require passengers to wait or take alternative routes. And last but not least, confusing transfers. Some stops require switching between buses, SkyTrains, and SeaBus or West Coast Express. Some schedules can be confusing, especially for new riders or visitors, making it hard to know which route or platform to take. So in that case, usually you can try ask someone if you see like a transit, someone working at TransLink, someone with the vest, you can always ask them or use Apple Map, Google Map. Yes. And some of the tips for new riders is to travel off peak hours if possible, avoid rush hours, and you can skip the crowded bus and SkyTrain stations. Rush hours, like I mentioned before, are usually mornings, which is from 7 to 9 a.m., evening 4 to 6 p.m. Make trips more comfortable and faster. You can also check your alerts before leaving. Use the TransLink website, TransLink app, Google Map, Apple Map for real-time updates. Alert tells you about delays, service changes, or construction so you can plan ahead. And add buffer time. Give yourself some extra time for transfers or unexpected delays. It can help you reduce stress and make sure you arrive on time. And last but not least, use a compass card. It is a reloadable card for bus, SkyTrain, SeaBus, and West Coast Express. It is faster than cash, and some fares are cheaper. For example, if you're taking a bus and then you have to transfer to SkyTrain, you just use your compass card, so you won't get charged double or twice. And some other tips can be track your bus or train in real time. Use the TransLink app to see exactly when your bus is or your when your next SkyTrain arrives. Know your exits and doors. Check station maps or train car layouts to stand near the exit for faster transfers. Keep belongings secure. Watch your backpacks, bags, and personal belongings, especially in crowded vehicles. Ask transit staff if you're unsure. So like I mentioned before, right? There are always helps available. If you need help, always ask the staff. So we got another question for you guys. What is the best way to reduce stress while commuting? A, plan extra time. B, avoid checking alerts. C, arriving late. D, skip transfers. I think this one, the answer is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go straight into the answer. And the answer is A, plan extra time. So, we have an activity, which is let's plan a trip together. But since this is a video lesson, so I'm gonna be planning a trip myself. So, today, let's say I'm going from SFU Burnaby to Waterfront Station and to YVR Airport, and I'm leaving at SFU at 4:30 p.m. So for me, I usually go on Google Maps. I set my departure area as SFU Burnaby, and my arrival area as YVR Airport, and I click add a stop in between, and I add waterfront station. So on there, I get to see what's the most fast ways, or the fastest ways, and or the cheapest ways. For me, I personally prefer taking SkyTrain over bus. So sometimes even SkyTrain takes slightly longer. I still prefer to take the SkyTrain. And of the third step here, plan the trip. So I gotta know what to take, what's the cheapest with and without a compass card, and travel duration. So this concludes our module for public transit. And you guys can scan this QR code to follow our socials so you don't miss the latest updates on immigration and everything happening within UNIFY. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this session helpful. Looking forward to seeing you at the next one. Bye.